I swear to you, this is a true story. It was my sophomore year at college, and the world seemed great. It was 1989. The Berlin Wall had just come down. The holiday from history was beginning, and I felt like anything was possible. One night, a bunch of folks in my dormitory got together for a dinner party. We ordered a huge amount of Chinese food, and at the end of the meal, we passed around a plate of fortune cookies. Everyone took turns choosing a cookie and then reading their fortune out loud, most of which were the sort of cliches you normally get in fortune cookies. I was at the end of the table, so I was the last one to pick, and when the plate got to me, there were only 2 cookies left. I hesitated a moment, wondering which one to take. "What's the big deal?" asked one of my friends. "Just grab one." "It's not that simple," I replied. "This is my fortune. I want it to be a good one." "If it really is your fortune, then it won't matter which one you pick." Unable to argue with that logic, I picked one up and opened it. "Depart not from the path which fate has you assigned." It sounded ominous, like a personal rebuke to my idea of choosing my own fortune. Out of curiosity, the person sitting next to me picked up the last cookie, the one I had left on the plate, and opened it up to see if it was any better. "Oh my God," they said. And then they showed me the other fortune that I might have picked. "Depart not from the path which fate has you assigned." I guess I couldn't choose my fortune after all. I attended college in Washington, D.C., majoring in international studies. I had a vague idea of either trying to get a job in the State Department or work as a journalist for a newspaper. However, after doing some video work at the local college radio station, I realized that what I wanted to do was to make films, not journalism, movies. So in 1990, I made a decision that changed my life. I abandoned my major and moved to Los Angeles to go to film school. Right out of college, I got a job at Paramount Studios, and for a couple of years, things seemed to be going well. Until they weren't. Depart not from the path which fate has you assigned. I had a bad day and made some bad decisions. I said the wrong thing to the wrong person, and my would-be career in Hollywood ended before it really began. Eventually, I met someone, and we wanted to settle down and have kids, so we moved back to the East Coast, and with the help of my parents, I settled into a job in the import business very similar to my father's, and for a few years, things seemed to be going well. Until they weren't. The recession in 2007 destroyed my nest egg, and then my kids had health issues, and another 10 years of hospital bills had me on the verge of bankruptcy until 2019. And then, as I was trying to recover and switch careers, the pandemic of 2020 hit. At that point, I just gave up making plans for the future. Depart not from the path which fate has you assigned. I'm now 55 years old. It's March of 2025, and due to the president's new tariffs, I've been laid off from my career of 25 years. I need to find a new job, and I don't have a clear path to retirement. I'm honestly not sure there's a path for me that doesn't lead to ruin. So I find myself asking, was there any chance that I could have avoided this moment? Let's say that back in 1989 I recognized that I had just as much chance of becoming a famous director as I did an astronaut. Let's say I graduated with a major in international studies and became either a government functionary or a journalist. Would it be different now? As a journalist, my career would have been killed early by the internet. Within 15 years, local newspapers everywhere would be shutting down. At 55, I'd probably be losing my job to an AI news aggregator, awkwardly trying to create a social media presence and looking for new work. If I had gone into government, I'd be receiving layoff notices from Donald Trump and Elon Musk. I know folks who have built respectable careers in Washington doing important work that's now on the chopping block for no discernible reason, and suddenly they're in the same boat as I am. Depart not. So I guess I'd be in pretty much the same place I am now. 55 years old, looking for a job, wondering if I'll ever be able to retire, wondering what it will feel like to work until I'm dead. I've had a relatively good life. I've gotten to travel the world, have adventures, be a husband and a father. I can't complain. But I have reached that point in my life, and we all get there sooner or later, when the world starts taking from you more than it gives. It gets hard to remember the good times. I focus on my regrets and second-guess the choices of my life. Depart not. I think about free will a lot, and fate. I kept the fortune that I chose that night in 1989. For years, I carried it around in my wallet, trying to figure out what it meant. Even now, 36 years later, I still think about it. That phrase is burned into my brain. It's there whenever I think about the future, whenever I try to come up with a plan, whenever I wonder what my eventual end will be. Depart not from the path which fate has you assigned. Depart not.